Hello and welcome to my ninth stream. I hope everybody is having a great day. Things are getting started now. It looks like the ads are completely over, and it looks like things are all live and working good. So, yesterday we did a meteor summoning through Blood Magic, and that left us with a whole bunch of stuff that was not quite uh, normal anymore because I stole things from places and I took runes from places where they were previously being used. So I'm going to repair and put those things back as they are needed. These blank runes, or excuse me, blood runes that I'm putting here were part of this lower altar. This lower altar was part of the process I was using to feed the life essence back into the LP network when I was making items using LP. So we're filling up our network. Up in the upper left, you can see the red bar is getting close to full. It does look like it might be 1,050,000 is the accurate number. I don't know that yet. It hasn't filled up completely, but it's almost there, which is nice. We need to make, it looks like 23 ritual stones in order to put back all the ones that we borrowed and used. I haven't made all the materials for them yet, but I've got most of them here, I think. I think I might run out of either air, precantatio, or I definitely will run out of tenebrae, but I've brought along materials for that for when we get over to the Thaumcraft area. With that all being said, let's go over there and start working on that. Um, the Thaumcraft mod is required in New Horizons to do a lot of the gating progress. So, for example, Blood Magic needs these ritual stones, and in the base mod, you just make them with a crafting table. But in New Horizons, you have to use the infusion crafting to make those ritual stones. So we will get out all the materials. Well, first we'll repair our flask of flight. I learned yesterday that you can make your flight flasks without the chicken trophies. I thought you had to have chicken trophies. Turns out it works with any trophy. So I made one with a cow trophy, and then I later on made one with a bat trophy, which is fun and interesting. Unexpected from my perspective. In between streams, I actually ended up making the Tinker's tool belt, so I can swap between two tool belts pretty quickly with a single key press. So I can have twice as many things on my hotbar essentially, which is nice. Alright, so for the ritual stones, I don't need ritual stones to make ritual stones. I need imperfect ritual stones. I need tiara. I need obsidian. And I don't need 100, I need 92, so let's drop off 8. I'll need reinforced slates. And then I will need these various essences in different numbers. We'll put the imperfect ritual stones here. We'll set the tiara 1 over here and the remainder over here. We'll do some similar things with the obsidian. 1, 2, and let's do the third one here. And we'll put the remainder over here. I think this will use up the ones from this side first, and then it'll go for that side later. And we'll do something similar with the ritual reinforced slates. 1, 2, 3. And the remainder will go in here. Previous crafting attempts with this has used the items out of these pedestals first. So it'll use these and then it'll be fed back in. And it'll use that one, it'll be fed back in. And those ones will just sit there until the last craft is going. The essences we'll need are Terra, which I've got a jar here. We'll need Ignis. Let's get these in order. Tenebrae, which, do I have a jar with Tenebrae in it? I don't think I do. So I'll need to get a jar going for that. Let's just set out several jars. We're gonna make some, I assume, because I don't think I've got extra right now. Right, no extra. So we'll get some of that cooking up right now in one of these alchemical furnaces. And that'll fill into these jars for the Tenebrae. We need Precantatia, which we've got plenty of. So we'll put that up here. Grab some out. And fill into that jar and label it. Then air. Again, I think we've got plenty of air, so we'll just toss a jar up here, put some in, and label it. Now, the Ignin and the Terra, we haven't got any Essentia in those yet, but I do have some. I probably don't have enough Ignis yet, but we can get some more of that relatively easily by grabbing some blaze dust. And then the Terra, I think I've got more than, well, maybe I don't have as much as I thought I had. I thought I had plenty, but looks like I've just got the 47, so that may not actually end up being enough. But it's enough to get us started. All right. So, oh, that's right. This is going to generate a bunch of Terra as well. That's one of the reasons I wasn't worried about it, but I've forgotten in the middle. So we'll label these two jars. And then we'll get the blaze powder that I was talking about before. And we'll get it cooking down as well. We'll put a jar up here for the Tenebrae. We'll grab some out of this warded jar and pop it into this one. And then label it. All right. Now it's just going to be a matter of getting the appropriate elements into the appropriate jars and keeping things from becoming too full. Like the like it looks like I allowed the Terra to get too full, so we'll disconnect here. We'll pick up the Terra jar, we'll set it aside. We'll grab the other Terra jar, put it down, and then reconnect up. I was hoping to have an overflow jar, but I used it because I wasn't quick enough. Let's put those labels on these guys, and then we'll just keep track of what's going on in them. Didn't grab enough labels. There we go. And we'll grab these out. And we'll fill these back into these other jars to get them completely full. This blue one we'll store over here. We don't need to use this in our time to sleep. I have an alarm to let me know that it's sleep time. Whoa, what the heck? A whole bunch of auto mod is being trouble. Hi, Shro, how are you? Sorry about that. Looks like I got the auto mod going, and it looks like the auto mod was blocking the word fart, which is silly. And yes, most flatulent battles are uphill. All right, what were we doing? Keeping the jars low. How's your day going, Shro? I hope it's well. It's not blocked anymore, so the problem has been solved. I can't explain why it happened, but I can tell you that it's no longer a problem. But yeah, it was a bit of a catastrophe until it was solved. Not sure what Twitch was thinking that you should block farts. It's a perfectly natural behavior and bodily function. But what can you do? It's Twitch. They have all the controls. All right. Need to get some more tenebrae going, so I think I brought along some black granite. Because mods are cool, you can turn black granite into fitted abyssal stone with a chisel. It seems kind of silly, but that is the way the mods work. And then we can get some more of that cooking down to produce more of the tenebrae and the terra. We'll keep collecting this ignis and these other various essences. Keep these jars from filling up. The farts you have to push extra to get out very rarely aren't a problem. That's true. The harder you have to push, the more likely they are to cause you to have to clean up the results. You're doing all right. Your brain's full of new information. You're taking a little break. Well, I'm glad you're taking a little break. I hope the new information is good. You seem to be going into a field that I kind of am trying to be out of as much as possible, but it seems that there's no real way out at this point. I know a little bit about a lot of things on computers, and that's enough to keep you in trouble forever, it seems like. All right, let's empty this jar and get rid of its label and pick it up. All right, so these jars are full mostly. Let's fill this one. And let's fill this one. Now these all look full, which is good. Oh, nope, the Ignis one is not quite full yet. So we could start crafting with these, but I'm gonna wait for this flame to go out and this to empty out before I start going crafting with the infusion crafting, because it is quite distracting. Hi there, Ninty. How you doing? Thank you very much for that subscription. Wow. Yes, Shro, the syntax is very important when you're doing coding, and you get used to it, but it takes a while. It says that I 1 minute ago made my sub goal. I didn't know I had a sub goal, but that does mean that I have 10 subs, which is really surprising from my perspective. I suspect this means that you got the one of those founder badges, which I thought unlimited people could get them in the first month. I have since learned that it is exactly 10 people can get a founder's badge, provided I don't become a partner, which I don't believe is ever going to happen, so I'm not even going to worry about that. So I'm going to be an affiliate for as long as I'm a Twitch streamer, and I'm going to stream as long as people are interested in hearing what I have to say. So I do appreciate your subscription. I'm kind of surprised by it. I don't know why people would want to subscribe to my content, but I very much appreciate it. What was I doing in game? I was making ritual stones. That's right. Okay. Pick up the essence jars, the water jars. We'll put them into their appropriate alcoves. The alcoves aren't required, but they help me organize things. So in order to craft these ritual stones, you take an imperfect ritual stone, which I've got automated because they're sitting in this chest, and they get drug into this arcane pedestal by a item conduit. And then you add in these other arcane pedestals with their materials. So we've got our tiara, which is an alchemical component. We've got our obsidian, which everyone knows about obsidian as far as Minecraft goes, I think. And then we've got our reinforced slates. Again, thank you for supporting me. I'm so happy to be part of this community. I am overwhelmed and very pleased with how people act in the Twitch community I am a part of now. I don't understand things, but I sure do appreciate you guys. And once again, I was talking about the reinforced slates, I think. Okay, so you make reinforced slates on a altar of life essence, but I've got that somewhere completely different, so we're not going to go look at that right now. But I've got a bunch of those reinforced slates. I prepared those off stream. And then in addition to those materials, you need these various aspects of essence: tiara, ignis, tenebrae, precantatio, and air. And so we just got all those in these warded jars, which the ritual will take. So I'll grab out my magic wand, I'll tap the runic matrix, and it'll start the craft, which does a lot of various particle effects, which is fun to watch. And then I will keep these jars filled up because I will need to have them filled up for the next crafting, which will be coming soon. But it draws in the essences, and then once it's done drawing in the essences, it'll draw in the items, and then it will create the item, and then the item conduit on the left-hand side will draw the finished item out and put it into this chest, if I have things set up correctly, which I do now. Make sure that one's full. Okay. So the crafting is still going, and it completed, and it drew the one ritual stone out and put it in the chest for me, and it drew in the imperfect ritual stone. So these jars are full again because I just filled them up, or near to full. And then we're going to make sure that the items are all still here, because we need 4 of the obsidian, so 4 obsidian are available. We need 2 of the alchemical component tiara, and then we need 4 of the reinforced slates. So all of those are ready to go, so we can use the wand and start up the next one going, and it will do that for us. And then while that's going, I'm rather low on these tenebrae essence vials, so I'm going to continue cooking down the abyssal stone to make more of it. So we'll grab one of the alimentum, which is the fuel to power this machine. It will create those essences, and they'll be stored in those jars. And then we'll come back and we'll backfill these jars that have been reduced in how much stuff they have in them, how much essence they've got in them. And then we'll get ready for the next craft. You can see it drawing in the various materials as it crafts that item. The particles aren't that bright. I might be able to increase that, I don't know. Of course, as soon as I increase the particles, the craft's over, but that's okay. We'll start at the next craft. And then we'll go over and empty out those warded jars that we're putting material in. Actually going to disconnect this so we don't fill up those jars even if these two get full. I'd rather not have to play with multiple jars containing the same essence in the future if I don't have to. That alarm lets me know that it's time to sleep, so we'll get out our sleeping bag and take a little sleep. That's my don't spawn monsters next to your base alarm. Unfortunately, I haven't spawn-proofed the outside of this area, so when the daylight sensor doesn't sense the sunlight anymore, it lets me know, hey, let's not spawn monsters. Fill the jars back up once again, and start the next craft. We're going to do this a total of 23 times. I believe this is our 4th craft started. And then we'll come back in here and empty out these warded jars. Keep them nice and low, where they don't overfill. Don't waste our fuel, essentially. Yep. We're going to need more blaze powder, I can tell, to finish this off. That's okay, we can get plenty of that. We grow it as a crop, essentially. Like you would normally grow wheat or potatoes in Minecraft, you're allowed to grow blaze reed, which will grow blaze rods as well as blaze powder, and then you can have a machine automatically pick that for you and keep it in stock. So, next craft can be started. That one finished. And more of the same. I think this is the last one I'm going to do on stream, because this is probably getting very repetitive. What is the word? I swear I know this word, but when I'm on stream, I can't think. Streaming doesn't allow you to think. That's bizarre. At any rate, there's a lot of repetition, so seeing the same thing over and over probably isn't the most fun. And I do have a meteor that I'm currently in the process of mining out, and there's some other things that we could do. I could finish off the big dig, or the little dig, excuse me. I suppose if I started another one, I might call it the big dig. But we'll go ahead and put all this away in our backpack. We can come back to it later. And we'll go take a look at the little dig here in a second. Get our flight potion going. And we'll head outside, and we'll head over towards the meteor, where things have been progressing. We'll turn on our glide, and we'll just glide, because gliding with the cloak, the mantle of the Raven, and nano boots of the Traveler on is faster than creative flight, although you do lose some elevation in flight. So this is our meteor. Let's fall off of it, I guess. Good thing for creative flight. We summoned the meteor yesterday at the end of stream, and it killed us. We died right over there somewhere because it blasted our body away from the meteor, which is lots of fun. But then I set the meteor's materials to be started being dug out in between streams, and this large ore drilling plant is in need of some maintenance, apparently. Its platings are dented, which I think that's the soft mallet repairs that. Let's take a look. It is not the soft mallet. Is it the hammer? It is the hammer, okay. These large multi-block Gregtech machines occasionally will stop working as well as they can and start causing problems. I believe the problems on this machine is essentially it burns more fuel to do the same work. But then you can do maintenance in the maintenance hatch with a tool to fix that particular problem. So the platings were dented, made the machine less energy efficient, which means that it burned more fuel. I've got fuel here in the form of benzene. These turbo gas turbines are burning and turning into essentially electricity, which is then fed through these energy hatches into the drill. And the drill is connected via this mining pipe to all the various blocks it's mining out. When it mines out a block, it replaces it with the similar cobble version of what the surrounding stone is, and the surrounding stone here was black granite, so it's making this black granite cobblestone. And then, yeah, it appears that it's done drilling through the bottom, and it's actually going to now drill down to bedrock on its way to drill out all the materials in this chunk area. This drill, let's verify before I just start saying things that I'm not sure about. Or drilling plant has a radius of 48 blocks that it drills in. So if it's a radius of 48, that would be a diameter of 96 blocks. 96 is 6 chunks, so it mines out a 6 chunk by 6 chunk area of all the ores, and then in effect triples the amount of ore you would get otherwise. So here's all the stuff that this machine has produced thus far. Oh look, we're getting diamonds. That's nice. Are there diamonds in this chest too? No. But the black granite that I was using to provide the Tenebrae and Terra over at the Thaumcraft area of my base was being provided by this meteor, so that I would have nice, easy stocks to those, access to those stocks. But this meteor I summoned in order to get this material right here, tantalite, which is useful in making circuits, well, the components for circuits anyhow, and I was running really low on those particular components, so I have been working to make this meteor to summon up all that tantalite so that I can get tantalum to make surface mount components very effectively in order to make more circuits. How's this doing? It's doing poorly on stone dust. But that's okay, it's still got 30 stacks. But I need to bring it stone dust, so I'm going to bookmark that. Otherwise, I will say it, and then 10 minutes later, I will completely forget about it, and then the machine will run out, and I'll have nothing I need. This is kind of my way of just keeping track of the things that I need to get done in the near future. So that's the ore drilling plant. It's going to continue drilling and continue filling up these large amounts of chests with various ores, tin ore, gold ore, lead ore, salt ore, copper ore, silver ore. This is tin ore as well, it's just a different kind of tin. This is mica, vanadium, magnetite, rock salt, lots of that tantalite that I was interested in, which is great. More tantalite, even more tantalite. Very, very happy with the amount of tantalite I'm getting out of this. In addition to that, there's some just silver dust, lead dust, tin, iron, copper, and soapstone dust that's just being made aside, which is nice too. I mentioned my little dig being almost complete. We can glide over there with our Mantle of the Raven. Some high-speed gliding. And we can see the little dig, which I've managed to make. Now, digging this area out in unmodded Minecraft would take a lot of time. But in modded, you have access to better tools. Apparently it's almost time to sleep. But one of the tools you have access to are these Tinker's Construct mining hammers. And you can mine very, very rapidly. Basically, as quickly as you can walk, you can mine. And that's this little dig done. Which is nice. It's a nice feeling. There's still caves about that I haven't actually filled in. I don't know if I can show those layers. This particular map doesn't like showing underground very well. Which is unfortunate. But there were some caves around here. You can see the evidence of where there was a spawning room here. I've removed the spawner and just left this as the remnants of the spawner's room. I filled in most of the places where there was holes with more stone because that's what my hammer generates for me for the most part. That looks like it's probably an opening into a cave. I probably just filled in dirt from top to bottom. So there's probably a cave there. But in here, I intend to put in a large tower. And it's going to be pretty good sized. The inside area of the tower is going to be like 48 by 48. Which is going to mean with the 3 thick walls that the outside of the tower is going to be approximately 54 by 54. Which is a nice sized tower. Should give me plenty of room for some machine automations inside. And the reason why I'm creating this tower separate from my third base area over here, and I'm creating a fourth base here, is over here I've got a bunch of farms on top. And those farms require that the pollution levels stay reasonable in order to keep the dirt around, because if your pollution levels go too high, you end up destroying your dirt. It turns into sand, and sand will not keep plants alive. So your plants need to have dirt. In order to keep the dirt around, I'm going to not allow these areas to become polluted. But over in base 4, I'm planning on allowing pollution to just go basically hog wild, and I'm not going to be too concerned about it. But I'm going to need a lot of bricks. I'm going to need a lot of other materials to fill that in and make that large tower there. I think the tower is going to be approximately as tall as this area here. Maybe not quite as tall as this. I don't know. It's set in lower landscaping than this tower is, so maybe it won't be quite as tall. but I will be probably going to about 130, which is about the height I am right now, which should be good. I had to block off this swampy area a little bit to dig all this out, which was, fun. Put some gravel in to keep the water from flowing. I have my clay bees inside of these area working diligently to create bricks for me, because bricks are not the simplest thing to make in Gregtech. Are the bees working? I'm going to say that the bees are working, and even without proof of that, I'm hopeful that's true. Yeah, I can see the bees working. Oh, I've got particles turned down. That's why. When using that mining hammer, the particles being high is distracting. It creates a lot of red. Basically fills up your vision with red particles. You can show that off pretty simply. Change toolbars. We will take out this wall. I didn't have... Did I have particles to the max? Let me think about this. Okay, particles are on max. Oh, this is not smeltable. I need something that will need to be smelted in order to show it off. So we'll put in some stone, and when you mine this with this hammer, it creates lots and lots of particles, which is unfortunate, because it's rather blinding and rather annoying as well. So, yes, the bees are working. The machines are... This machine takes the clay from the bees and turns it into a brick. It then pushes the brick into this compressor. The compressor compresses 4 bricks into 1 bricks, which is kind of... Why did Minecraft do it that way? But that's the way they did it. And then the bricks is stored into this super chest. The other product these bees make is honeycombs. Let's look at the clay bees. Except it's called Clay Princess. And if we look at what they make, they'll make these honeycombs as well as these clay, the Minecraft clay balls. The clay balls we've talked about, they go through this processing chain and become bricks. These honeycombs are centrifuged to make beeswax and honey drops. And then those beeswax and honey drops are kept in these 2 super chests here. So this is how I'm going to get all the bricks, or at least a majority of the bricks, for my large bricked tower that I'm planning on making. Over here, I've got a different automation which continuously makes clay, and I sometimes steal from because it has excess. And then I will push that clay into the bees production so that it has a little bonus, essentially. Because this doesn't actually keep up with it. The other one does. It overflows. Maybe I should replace what I've got going on here with what I've got going on over there. I don't know. Disconnect that. And we can... Actually, let's connect that. How exactly do I want this to work? I think I want... in on orange, but I want to filter this to only do clay. Setting up an automation on stream. And I want high priority. And then extract on lime, maybe? Yeah, let's do lime. Insert on lime over here. And set this to be active. That way, if there's extra clay, we can just buffer it up there. And then if there's extra clay from the bees, they'll get buffered into here as well. That makes sense. And there's other various automations here. Primarily this area is being used to provide materials for the ore automations above. The ore automations are what's going to be used to process all the ore that the meteor generated. I'm going to miss the elevator and then try again. But these machines here all do automated ore processing. In terms of regular Minecraft, it would be, this is essentially my furnaces, but they're a little more complicated than that in order to get more out of the same ore, essentially. In addition to that, some ores take much more than just a furnace in order to process. An example of that would be platinum. Platinum material essentially requires a whole bunch of machines to turn the various things you can get from mining into actual platinum dust. One of which is we've run out here because what did this machine use? This uses reciprocated platinum dust as well as calcium in order to make platinum dust and calcium chloride. The reciprocated platinum dust comes from this other machine, which is turning, what is the actual material it makes? Okay, brains are liquid. We take, in order to make this, it requires platinum concentrate in the large chemical reactor along with ammonium chloride. We've got the ammonium chloride. We got lots of ammonium chloride. It's being made over here. That's what these other machines, the support machines, are doing, is making the ammonium chloride for me. And putting it into this machine for me. And then those are produced into the precipitated platinum dust, which is then being stored. At some point, these machines are going to backfill completely because it looks like we're almost full on nitrogen dioxide. We're almost full on diluted sulfuric acid. So at some point, this whole process is going to come to a stop because I don't have the processing line set up to deal with those byproducts. I had thought about what I was going to do on stream, and I documented that. Let's set up some more flight. Let's go back to our primary base where we build stuff. And take a look at what we were up to. So, in essence, things we wanted to do were make that blood magic orb. We finished that. And then some other things we were going to do was clean up NEI. I'm not going to work on that now. We want that tower to be built. We're processing slowly. We could do some bee breeding. We've done the whole dig, and I need to make some LV circuits. The LV circuits are important to add additional outputs to our automated ore processing. The ore processing is basically stalled out right now because it doesn't have anywhere to put the next materials, essentially. One of the things that I have been working on here was getting more tantalum, which was the whole purpose of the meteor. I've smelted up some of that tantalum, and now it's in the form of hot ingots. You can take those hot ingots and stick them into the vacuum freezer, and the vacuum freezer will, over a period of 13 seconds, cool those ingots down. Cooling those ingots down will produce the tantalum, which can then be used to make circuits. Before we forget, let's go refill our stone dust on our ore drilling plant. In order to do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to head over here. I needed about 32 stacks, which I can easily put into a oak drawer. Set that oak drawer down. We won't be carrying these around forever, so let's put those away. While we're putting things away, let's put our experience away. And while we're cleaning up our inventory, let's have a bite to eat and get our food squared away for the future. Okay, so 32 stacks would be approximately a full inventory. A little more than that. That's 27. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 32 stacks. Then we'll get out a dolly. We'll go ahead and pick this guy up. We'll put our dolly in our compressed chest. We'll pick up our compressed chest, and we'll head over to the meteor again to put all that stone dust into the drawer over there so that it doesn't run out anytime soon, as this ore processing over here is loaded to run all the time, and if it runs out, it'll just sit there and do nothing, unfortunately. So to prevent that from happening, we will give it the materials it needs and keep it going. Put that here. Put the dolly away. We can break this now and just put away all that stone dust. That's kind of a surprise. I thought I was getting the right amount. Apparently I got extra. That's fine. We can just put that away here soon. Kind of surprise. But whatever. Oh, it's probably picking up stone dust from underground now. So it's probably picked up a variety of stone dust at this point from the other chunks it's drilling out. So yeah, it was refilling it when we were gone. I didn't think about that. The meteor doesn't have any stone dust. It has black granite dust in it. But the place where it's drilling out now, underwater essentially, does have stone dust. So it was filling up that drawer, and I was thinking I needed to fill it up manually. Okay. Well, we can just head back home. No problem. The flight flasks are really nice. I had thought I would need a chicken trophy to make them in the assembler because that's what the recipe calls for, but it seems that you can make the flight flasks with any trophy, and I have lots of trophies, so I can make lots of flight flasks. Got blaze trophies, bat trophies, spider trophies, zombie and skeleton trophies, and I think all of those work for making those various trophies. So, circuits. I want more circuits. I need more circuits in order to make more output chests for my ore processing line. So we'll queue up those items we need. We need basic packagers. I need a bunch of those. And then we're also going to need super chest. Which would be a great superhero name, but in this case is not what we're building. Now, in order to make these chests, you need microprocessors, and you need a lot of them. I'm planning on making a stack of these super chests, so I need 4 stacks of microprocessors just for that. Then I'm going to need another stack, so a 5th stack for one of the components of those. In addition to that, this is going to need 2 more, since we're making a stack of these as well. That's 6 and 7 stacks. And then these robot arms need another stack. So that's a total of 7 or 8 stacks of microprocessors. So we'll pull up these microprocessors and we'll look at what is required to make them. We'll tell the recipe to hold still and we'll bookmark that recipe. I think that is the best recipe because I do not believe that the systems on a chip are something I have access to yet, but I am willing to look because it would be nice if I did. I need a EV precision laser, which I could make, and then I would need Naquita doped wafers because that's the minimum to make the systems on a chip. Don't think I have access to Naquita, but I am perfectly willing to find out. So let's look at the Naquita doped, which needs a single Naquita ingot to make. Well, actually, let's take a look at this, because I don't have some of these things. I do have helium. So in order to make this, I either need a single Naquita ingot or 3 Naquita dust. Let's find out if either of those are something I have access to. Not seen these before, but let's look through them. I do not have a precision assembler, so that's a no-go. Let's look back at the Naquita ingot, which is going to come from this Naquita dust, which is different from the Naquita dust, which comes from the Naquita which we don't have ability to make. It does say that ads are going to start in a couple of minutes. When ads start, I will take a break. Everybody else should too. So I'm going to go with, I don't have access to those systems on a chip yet, so we're going to not continue down that rabbit hole. So, that being said, your ad break is about to start. Is it going to start now or is it going to start in 2 minutes? I think it's going to start in 2 minutes. Let's just keep on letting that roll. And let's keep on looking at these circuits. So we're going to need plastic circuit boards in order to make essentially 8 stacks of circuits. And I'm actually going to do 12 stacks of circuits. That way I have some extras after I finish completing just the limited amount of machines that I'm planning on having. To make 12 stacks of circuits, we need 384. So that's 6 stacks of those guys, and 12 stacks of these, and a bunch of soldering alloy. In order to get the 6 stacks of plastic circuit boards, we're going to need to use a chemical reactor with some sodium persulfate and a bunch of copper foil. We'll set this up for 1 stack, and then we'll know we need to make 6 of those. Same thing with the plastic circuit boards. We'll use the recipe for the polytetrafluoroethylene, I believe, because we don't have the benzimidol. That word is something I'm not going to get anytime soon. At any rate, we'll use the polytetrafluoroethylene PTFE recipe. And again, we're going to know that we're going to need to make 6 times what we've got here. Then we're going to need these CPUs. We'll set that up as a bookmark. Same thing with these resistors. Ad break starts in 11 seconds. So we're going to go on break here. We'll see you guys after the break. Thanks for being here. Thanks for watching the ads. I'm sorry that they go. It's what Amazon does to us. I'll be back in a few minutes. Okay, it says we're going to be back from ads here in 3 seconds. It also says we're going to be back from ads in 5 seconds, so I don't know which one's correct. I will assume now that it says that we're back from ads completely, that we actually are. At least I really hope so. We're going to get back to planning out these circuits in order to make the outputs for our automated ore processing. We didn't have the tantalum before to do this, but now we do. We had just finished bookmarking the central processing units, the CPUs, and we're on to the resistors. Resistors are where you start using that tantalum wire up. I think the 32 recipe is the best one. So we'll bookmark that one. And we'll bookmark it as a stack of 64, knowing that we'll need 12 times that to make the enough for this number of circuits. Look at the capacitors. It appears the 24 is the best one. It also needs the tantalum, so we'll bookmark that. We're going to need to get this to be a number of stacks, an even number of stacks, which is 3. To make 12 stacks, we're going to need 4 times this amount. Actually, let's just set these numbers to be accurate. It won't take very much effort, and it'll save time later, because I won't have to think too much about it. And doing math and thinking about things will probably screw me up at some point. 384 and 384. I was going to do math earlier and just multiply things by 6, but I've decided that that's going to be difficult for me. And 384. The nice thing is you can do this with your mouse wheel, so it's relatively quick. It's just not perfect easily. There we go. All right. We've got the capacitors. The next thing is these transistors. Looks like stacks of 32 are made pretty quickly. We'll set that one up for the 768. The last thing is going to be copper wire. Just made like this, using copper ingots. We'll set that one up as well. The soldering alloy, I'm not going to be too concerned about. That's going to be 192, so that's essentially 19 combinations of 9, 10, and 1 antimony. That's something that's pretty easy to think of. Essentially, I need 192 ingots of the alloy, which is going to be 19 times 10 of 10. Maybe I can't do this math. Well, I've got a built-in calculator. So equals 190 divided by 10 times 9, or 171. 171 divided by 64, this is to get it in stacks, is, okay, so 3 stacks is fine. And then I need 1 antimony for every 9 of these. This is 9 times 7, so 7, 7, and 7 is 21 antimony. So we'll get those 21 antimony, and we'll get those processing in our alloy smelter. For people that didn't understand that math, I apologize. I could go through it again if you want me to. Otherwise, I'm just going to move on, because in essence, I just need a whole bunch of soldering alloy, and I made a majority of it, and I have some extra somewhere else. Then we need 96 copper ingots, which is a stack and a half for this wire. We'll set this on the fine wire programming, and no, we're not going to do this. We're going to use this one. This one's the fast one. We need a place for it to output to. We need to set up the auto output. We need to direct the auto output. I'd forgotten I'd made this machine until I looked at it and went, wait a minute. What am I doing? So back on 3, and then we'll put the copper in there, and it'll make those fine copper wires for us. This 96 ingots, this stack and a half, will make those copper wires, and they'll all be in this chest here shortly. Next thing to do is going to be these surface mount transistors, which require gallium foil. 1 ingot becomes 4 foil, so 24 foil is 6 ingots of gallium. We'll come over here and get some gallium. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 is not 7. And we'll make those into foil. Then we're going to need tantalum wire. We need 3 stacks of 64. Each stack of 64 is 8 ingots. 8 times 3 is 24 ingots. So we'll go get 24 ingots. We put those into the vacuum freezer earlier. 24 into fine wire, which can happen in the same wire mill that we were just at. We will get this sorted and add those in. Then we'll work on making these into plates. Once they're plates, we'll turn them into the foil by reprocessing them one more time. The next thing is going to be 32 tantalum foil and 64 thin PVC sheets, which is essentially foil again. So the 64, this is, when I divide by 4, 16 sheets. I've got some PVC here, 16 PVC sheets. We need to get rid of this concrete that we've got in here. Extra concrete. I was making some concrete for another project earlier. Just keep that around. We might throw it away later. But we need 16 sheets, so it's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Did we get that right? Close. We will melt back down one of these, and we will put them back in our little fluid cell. We've got our 16 PVC sheets. We'll send those through the bending machine, and they'll become the thin sheets, and we'll then take the gallium foil, do the same thing, and it'll become we'll take the gallium sheets and turn them into gallium foil. That's what I tried to say. Put our molten our molten PVC back, and look at the tantalum foil we're going to need. This is going to be 4 foils per ingot, so 8 ingots. We'll go over to our vacuum freezer and pick up the 8 ingots. And we'll turn those into foil as well. We can pick up the PVC and gallium for now, and those are processing. Lastly, we're going to need another stack plus 32 of fine tantalum wire. Each stack is 8, so that's 12 more tantalum ingots. So we'll head back over to the place where we've been processing tantalum. get the 12 we need, and also turn that into fine tantalum wire. The carbon we're going to need, we've got here locally as well. We make carbon for our EBF to use for various combinations. So we'll pick up 24 of those for our resistors. All right. The next thing in our list is going to be these CPUs. To make the CPUs, we'll head over to the clean room and we'll look at what we actually have in stock already, because I assume that I've got a bunch of them, but I don't know. Looks like I've got 64 of those, which means I need 5 more stacks. So we'll reduce this down to actually needing just the 5 stacks. So that's 320, which is 40 of these wafers. We're going to make the wafers out of the phosphorus doped wafers, which is going to be 10 with a diamond lens. So we need 10 of these wafers. And then we need a diamond lens. You just look that up. We'll set this to automatically push the materials it makes into the advanced cutter. We'll get the cutter ready. I'm going to sneeze, so I'm going to mute you. Very sorry about that. I hope nobody heard those sneezes, but I don't know. I think I got the mute off in time, but who knows? Now I'm cleaning up my face after those sneezes. That was so much fun. And then I'm going to have a drink of water. Okay. We were preparing to cut up some circuits, some CPUs. We'll make sure that our clean room is running properly. And then we will get those phosphorus doped wafers with the diamond lenses. This will make 10 of these CPU wafers, and then the cutting machine will cut them up and store them in the slightly larger chest along with these, and we will have the 320 plus 64, so 384 of those available here shortly. The next part we need to start processing is going to be these plastic circuit boards, which require polytetrafluoroethylene sheets and a bunch of copper and some sulfuric acid. Over here we'll grab our PTFE, molten PTFE, and then we're going to need 96 of these plates, or not plates, sheets. We're going to need 96 sheets, which is a stack and a half, and then we're going to need 6 stacks of copper foil, which is 1.25 stacks of ingots, which is 1 stack plus 16. So we'll get that in the bending machine. I've actually got a higher speed bending machine, which I'm going to use for this because that is a lot to do. I'm going to need my wrench to set this up to convert the power over to that bending machine. This needs to be on number 10, and we'll stick those copper ingots in there and it'll make all that copper foil for us. In addition to that, we will start on, well, those tantalum can wait, I guess. I can't run this bending machine and that bending machine simultaneously, as they're both powered by this single gas turbine, essentially. If I'd set the power distribution up better, this would work both at the same time. Unfortunately, I did not. We were making, we needed 64 plus 32. We ran out of molten polytetrafluoroethylene, so we're going to need to go pick some more up from the other place where I've got that automated. I've set up automated PTFE very early on, and it has made things so much easier for me. Just have to remember which tank it's stored in. And why is it not making more? It's not making more because it doesn't have any oxygen, looks like. Why does it not have oxygen? It doesn't have oxygen because one of these probably needs to be full of oxygen and is not. I just wish I would remember which one is which. Which one of these stores oxygen? Okay, so we have oxygen. It's just not set up properly. It needs to be set up to extract on orange. It is set up to extract on orange. Okay, so what is going on here? Let's look only at fluid pipes. Okay, fluid pipe goes over, goes up. Okay, what on earth? Oxygen. Output. Extract oxygen, always active. Is it the way the machine is facing? Got stuck under the wire. Let's face the machine towards us here. It was the direction the machine was facing. So my PTFE line was disabled for a while because I had messed up the automation and got the machine turned around. Oh well, the good news is that I still had plenty backed up, so it wasn't a big deal. It just wasn't processing. Middle of the night really doesn't matter because I've got the flight potion to get back to where I was making circuits. We'll head back up and make some more circuit stuff. The ability to make machines is very involved. It's why I do things in big batches, why a majority of the New Horizons players do things in big batches, because you have to sort it all out, and that sorting it all out takes up just as much time as any other part of the process. I'm going to guess we're there, but I'm not sure. 29, so 3 more. 1, 2, 3. We got him. Okay. Pick up the PTFE. Pick up these sheets. Put the PTFE away in the machine we keep it in. And then we'll look here at the copper foil. Those are made. In order to make these plastic circuit boards, the last ingredient, 6, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 is not 6. We need another 16 copper ingots. Should have been a stack and a half, not a stack and a quarter. Don't do math on stream. Okay, back to what I was doing here. We don't have the sulfuric acid here, I suspect. Okay, so we're going to need 48 sulfuric acid, which is 48 cells. Sulfuric acid I have automated once again at my automation tower. towers. We'll glide back over, drop into the water, go down to the appropriate level where sulfuric acid is going to be stored in a tank below here. There we go. And we'll grab out those 48 buckets, 48 cells, 48 whatever. And we'll take them back and process those into those circuit boards. Our flight potion is still active, which means we can just start flying. Head back. Go to the appropriate machine, which I've got set up for circuit boards. Over here, verify the automation on the back of the machine. It's currently set up for a different machine, or different circuit board. We want to input these, we want to input these, and that's everything that's going to be pulled into the machine. Get those ready. We'll put the sulfuric acid in here. And that will get the machine going in making these plastic circuit boards. It'll make the plastic circuit board and then it'll kick it back out into the chest. And then it'll leave it in the chest because it's only inputting the items that I had it bring in over here. I said to whitelist the copper foil and the polytetrafluoroethylene sheets only, the Teflon sheets. We're basically making Teflon circuit boards out of Teflon, copper, and sulfuric acid. And then we're going to use that along with a bunch more copper foil and some sodium persulfate to make some plastic circuit boards here in a few minutes. But while that's going, we can process these tantalum plates in the tantalum foil and get the next set of circuit board components ready. It's going to be 36 stacks of copper foil, which is 9 stacks of copper, because 36 divided by 4 is 9. Go over and get 9 stacks of copper. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And we'll turn all those into foil here shortly. Okay, that's 9 stacks. That tantalum has processed. And then we'll get these going here. We need a way to feed into this bending machine, because right now we don't have that. So we'll stick a chest on the side with a conduit feeding into it. Extract on white, insert on white, and we'll put in these copper ingots. And then we'll make sure that the machine is bringing them in by watching it use one and then get the next one going. Perfect. So it's going to make these 2,304 copper foils for us, which will then be processed into more circuit board stuff over there. So we've gone through the whole list once, and then we'll go back to the bottom and we'll see about where we're at. So it looks like these 12 stacks of copper wire are ready, so we can pick those up and stick them in our backpack for later processing. And let's just sort this out so that it looks like those are on the bottom, essentially. So we can count that that's 9, and then 3 more is 12. So these are all made. The next piece that's going to be needed are going to be these SMD transistors, which require the fine tantalum wire, 3 stacks, 1, 2, and 3. And then also needs the 24 gallium foil. That's going to be made in the assembler on circuit 3. And then we'll get those going with item auto output. It'll push them into this chest below. Let's make sure that starts going. Gallium foil, fine tantalum wire, molten polyethylene. We need molten polyethylene. Okay. And molten polyethylene, and then it starts going. Perfect. The next thing we're going to need are these SMD capacitors, which will need our thin polyvinyl chloride sheets, as well as tantalum foil, which we should have over here. We got another assembler over here. We will put a chest for output on top. We will direct it with our wrench to output to the top. We will set auto output. We will not have the polyethylene on us, so we need to go pick that up. We'll give it some polyethylene. We'll do this on circuit 3 once again. We'll stick those in there and it'll start making those capacitors. Okay, for the resistors, we need the 24 carbon dust, as well as the remainder of these fine tantalum wires. And we're going to need about 6, almost 7 more buckets worth of the polyethylene, which we can pull out of this machine. Gonna have to cough here, so sorry. I'm gonna put... Sorry about that. Working on these resistors. We got that polyethylene, and we'll go back over to the other assembler that we're working on this with, which is almost done. We'll give it that polyethylene and those wires and carbon dust, and it will start working on that. We'll go ahead and put this cell away. These are all being processed. We can go check in on the CPUs. I imagine that they're still in process. Yes, they are. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 and a quarter stacks. So we've processed 3 1/4 stacks since we were last here, which is nice. The diamond lens is done, so we'll put it away. And the rest of these are being cut with the lubricant that's here. So that's in process. We can ignore it and leave it going. Hello, welcome in. Do you like the name Neek? Is that appropriate? I don't really consider it torture. I really appreciate the sense of accomplishment that I get every time I do something substantial in here. Right now I'm working on making, is it 12 stacks of circuits? It is 12 stacks of circuits for LV circuits, because I'm trying to upgrade my ore automation lines to basically double the amount of outputs it can handle. So if you enjoy torture, I guess you can watch this, but Terra Firma Craft. Did you finish Gregtech? After 3 days, you got a copper pick. I don't think I ever got a copper pick in Gregtech. I think I went from flint directly to iron. I don't remember exactly now. It's been such a long time. Since then, I've gone on a different playthrough. I was playing with a friend, not on this server, but on a different server. I went straight from the flint pick to a netherrack flint, pick. In terra firma, you start by knapping stone and then copper. Okay, so there's no skipping copper, I take it. I don't know terra firma craft, but I've heard other people talk about Terra Firma Greg, and it sounds interesting, but something that's outside of my knowledge base. We were looking at these plastic circuit boards. We needed 6 stacks. We have 5 stacks. We needed more copper foil. We didn't bring the copper foil over yet. We'll grab that copper foil and take it over. Thank you for that follow. I appreciate it. I did play SevTech Ages, which sounds similar. I think you started off by messing with napping as well, but it's been a long time. I've been playing this pack since August, and I haven't really played anything besides Gregtech since then. So August, September, October, November, December. So 4 months last year and 4 months this year, almost. We're looking at like 8 months of just this one pack, and I haven't touched any other packs, so I'm having trouble remembering those other things. Gregtech New Horizons is kind of overriding all the rest of it. So we need to get some sodium persulfate. That looks like 3 stacks of cells, which is 6 of these aluminum fluid cells. I've got some sodium persulfate over here for some other processing, which we're going to pick up and use. I didn't finish SevTech. I ran into some problems. I want to say like the 3rd age. I'm probably wrong, but there was a magic mod that was requiring, I don't remember, but I think it had to do with a bunch of mobs. But there was a magic mod that was basically causing me problems, and so I ended up stopping in SevTech, which I kind of find unfortunate, because maybe it would have gotten better again, but I didn't stick it out, essentially. All right. We'll put these empty cells away and pick up all this foil, which is not enough foil, but it'll get us started. Looks like AutoMod has something to say about something somebody said. I will take a look at that in just a second. All right. Held a message for bullying. I don't see any bullying here, so we're going to allow this. I don't know what's going on with AutoMod on that particular instance. Maybe Rotary Craft and his magic mods are insane. If you like hardcore tech, I advise you to try Somebody's mod pack. Yeah, I would agree. AutoMod is a bit wacky sometimes. I think it errs on the side of making mistakes and catching things than not catching things. But I was able to get that message out of the AutoMed queue and get things going, so we're happy there. I'm not going to start another pack until I finish this pack. This New Horizons has really, really drawn me in, and I'm going to stick with it for at least the foreseeable future. I've made it to EV, and there's a whole lot more. Oh yeah, no problem saying things. I don't mind suggestions. I'm just going to say that I'm going to keep going here for a long time, probably. It is Ryuka's mod pack. Is that the Terra Firma Greg or Terra Firma Craft? Is that what you were talking about? You're gonna be a Trooper on Steamroll the pack. From what I understand, this pack has a lot of stuff well beyond EV. EV is still part of the tutorial, essentially. The way I understand things, you're in tutorial until like LUV, maybe. I don't know that, but there is a lot to this pack, and I think I'm beginning to scratch the surface, essentially. Those are done. These are also done. Nice. I picked up the Lapatron that I didn't want to pick up. Okay. Let's grab up this polyethylene. Let's grab up this polyethylene, and we'll put it away for now. And we'll grab all these components. These components are why I needed to summon a meteor in order to get more tantalum, in order to make more circuits, which required a bunch of blood magic and Thaumcraft in order to get going. All right, let's put this wrench away, and then let's go look at our circuit boards. Actually, before I do that, let's grab all this soldering alloy and get it melting. Make sure this is empty. Perfect. Get this all melting while I go over there and look at the circuit boards. So-and-so has made one of the best tech mods in Minecraft called RotaryCraft, and he has a pack with his mods that he keeps updating from 10-ish years. Wow. Yeah, long-term development is really good. It allows for refinement on top of refinement on top of refinement, which makes things really enjoyable. You probably know this, but New Horizons has been in development for something like 9 years. I only got into it last year because of other people streaming it. And now I'm streaming it because people have said, hey, you should stream. So these circuit boards are being processed. That's going to take a while. We might go hand feed it to our other chemical plant. It looks like our CPUs are finished. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They are. Put those in the bag. And we'll go take a look at these circuit boards. Grab some of this sodium persulfate. Grab some of these. We'll let that continue on automation. Grab some copper foil. We'll do some hand feeding because this is what's basically making us stuck right now. Everything else is in process. Grab some more foil. And we'll head over to our... One of these does chemistry. Do I not have it out? It's possible I don't have it out. Okay, so it's not in here. All right, let's look again. Chemical reactor. Okay. Was right in front of my face, and I was just blind to it. We'll put an output chest on top. We'll say item auto output. We will direct that auto output to the top. And we will feed it some of the sodium persulfate and some of the various components. Then we need to set up an automation to continue the feeding of this machine. So we'll set a tank here and a fluid conduit to feed in the sodium persulfate. And then we need to do items as well, which will require an item conduit. And then we're going to need to get down and see the bottom of the machine to set up the inputs here. Insert on white, not extract from the machine, and extract from this chest, always active. Put this plate back in place and put in all of these components. Now we've got this chemical reactor making our circuit boards as well as the high voltage one. Essentially, I'm starting into EV. I'm not really strong into EV yet. So I've just got the one place where EV is processing things. And we'll grab a little extra fuel and take it over to the EV area, which I don't think is going to stick around for too long. Put that cell away. I am interested in seeing this rotary craft. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pause stream like that just a second, and I will add a tab, and it'll be rotary craft. And I'll look that up later when I'm not streaming. Okay. So thank you for the suggestion. I'll take a look at it later. It won't be while I'm on stream. I think I've grabbed all the copper foil out of here. I don't generally use this to do this that often, so I'm going to take this back down, put those away. These circuit boards are taking a while. I maybe should have started them first. Those are done, those are done, those are done, and those are done. This is done. So yeah, we're just waiting on the circuit boards. We can go pick up the soldering alloy at this point, I'd imagine. Yep, it's all there. So, got the soldering alloy, which is nice. We can put that in the backpack for later as well. And then we're just waiting on the circuit boards. Neither of those machines nor these machines are going to draw on the same power that's going to be used in the circuit assembler. So what I can do is I can start the circuit assembler working right now to start making circuits in the clean room. Yeah, Gregtech machines do have history essentially being back into IC2 machines originally. Gregtech, the mod, was a add-on for IC2, I understand. And it is now its own mod, but it does have all of its roots in IC2. So our circuit assembler is here. We can make sure that it will not insert the LV microprocessors, which is what we're making. We can grab some CPUs, some resistors, some capacitors, some transistors, and some wire. No, that's not wire, that's more transistors. Wrong clicks. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 plus the soldering alloy makes all of them. Put some soldering alloy in the machine. Put the components in the machine. Put some extra components down below. Grab some more extras so that once those are drawn in and made, we can keep going. And then we'll go look at get some circuit boards. Making 12 stacks of circuits does seem to be quite the ordeal. Did you spend a bunch of time doing either IC2 or Gregtech at one point? Come back here, feed these circuits in, and then pick up the microprocessors. And we'll just set those into the bag. Make sure the soldering alloy is filled, because that one doesn't automatically fill. The rest of these are on automatic, essentially. We'll grab out a couple more wires, a couple more transistors, capacitors, resistors, and one more CPU, and put those in here so that there's plenty of components. Sort those. Grab out those microprocessors that have been made. Put those into our bag. Set those up like that so that that's where they go. And go grab some more of the good circuit boards. Yeah, I'm planning on making essentially 32 super chests and 32 basic packagers. And then that'll essentially double the amount of outputs I have on my automated ore processing lines. And those ore processing lines are sitting there doing nothing right now because they just don't have anywhere to put the outputs that they have stocked up inputs for. More circuit boards. We'll pick up the microprocessors and we'll make sure that the soldering alloy is topped off. Put those microprocessors away. One more time. Just doing the hand feeding of things because unfortunately things aren't set up to be automated yet. It'll be nice to have circuits completely automated. I'm not there yet. That has 9 and 33. Over here we've got basically 9 and 40, so let's grab a few of these. Oops. This machine's going to run at half the speed as that machine, so at some point I'm going to need to transfer a bunch of materials over. I should probably just do that now. Let's go with 3 of these and all of these. That should probably be about right. It's not going to be perfect, but when you're taking care of 2 machines by hand feeding them, I don't think it's ever going to be easy to have it perfect. Come back over to my clean room, elevator in, feed these circuit boards in, pick up the microprocessors, put those away, grab out some more components, more CPUs, feed all those guys in. It does look like those plastic circuit boards are going to be the hang-up very soon. So next time I go to make circuits, I'll know that the circuit boards are going to be the slowest part of the craft. Whether or not I remember that is going to be, you know, who knows. If I'm lucky, I'll remember it, I suppose. Back over here, back to hand feeding, picking up those microprocessors, putting them away, and ensuring that the soldering alloy is topped off. We had some other soldering alloy, and that's... I wonder if we can squish down to just the one. Basically one more bucket left extra. Okay. Not yet, but soon. Those away. Go out and grab some more circuit boards. Looks like you'd need a lot of circuit board assemblers in order to match the speed of the circuit assembler for making the circuit boards versus making the circuits. Because, yeah, we're out of circuit boards essentially here. The good news is I think the assembler still has circuit boards in it. Yeah. Come back in here. Once again, grab out some components to fill back up the chest. Sort that up. Grab out the microprocessors. Put them away. And top off the soldering alloy. Down to one can in there again, which is nice. Won't have to keep track of one in my inventory. Pick up the circuit boards, pick up the circuit boards, and restock things again. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Perfect. Looks like I got an extra wire in there at some point. That's okay. We'll check the fuel supply this time while we're over here. Make sure we're not running low on fuel. We are absolutely running low on fuel. Let's refuel that real quick. So how is our fuel supply? That doesn't need to be connected there. So we need to bring over more fuel even more. It looks like ads are going to start again here shortly. Twitch just told me. Big flashing banner on my second screen. Ads are about to start. I wish I could do more about ads, but it seems like the more I touch them, the more they get upset with me. So I'm just going to leave it alone. While we're on ads, I will just, essentially pause my game, take a break myself. I encourage everybody that's here to take a few minutes to take care of themselves, get themselves a new cup of coffee, a new drink of water, maybe take a little stretch, whatever it takes to take care of you. Go ahead and do that while I'm on break in roughly 2 minutes, as it looks like. Get the rest of these components out of our bag. I assume, I don't know that, but I assume that I'm going to not have enough circuit boards in order to finish by the time this ad break comes up. And it does look like I'm going to be done streaming in about 15 minutes. Actually, let's just snooze all these ads. I'm only going to be live for another 15 minutes. Maybe it won't be upset with me for snoozing them. I don't know. I can be hopeful. Okay, this has run out of the sodium persulfate to continue processing. So we'll pick this all up and take it to the other assembler, the other chemical plant. where it'll continue to work. We've still got sodium persulfate here. Good. We've still got plastic circuit boards here. Yeah, we'll just snooze the ads until noon, and then we'll be done. And hopefully Twitch won't be upset with me. Next time I start streaming, it'll be like, hey, you can't snooze ads at all. But that's a whatever. Seems I don't snooze them early on. Maybe I can snooze them later on. Top back off that soldering alloy. We are basically out of circuit boards at this point over here. But that's because our sodium persulfate wasn't equally distributed to the two chemical plants very well. That is, of course, on me, but I didn't know which one was... I didn't understand the ratios perfectly, and I still don't. I'm pretty sure this machine will do 2 crafts while that machine does 1, and I thought I picked up 2/3 of the sodium persulfate, but clearly... Well, maybe because it was in those 32 bucket chunks, maybe I did pick up 2/3, but more than 2/3, leaving less than 1/3 because of the number of aluminum fluid cells. At any rate, it's not a big deal. This is getting close to being done. Looks like there's 62 left. 62 of these will take 31 minutes. Wow. No, that's not right. Let's go look at the machine. It'll tell me the time. 5 seconds each. So 200 and something, no. Roughly 300 seconds. So 5 more minutes of processing there. Whereas it seems that the circuit assembler is a bit faster. It seems to do them in half the time. We're out of power. Well, I have a solution for that. I did not think we were going to run out of power here. I do have batteries to take care of that, though. That's really unfortunate. This takes... Oh, 960. I thought this took like 600. This is taking twice the power that I thought it would. Well, that's fine, I guess. We can put those batteries back in a little while. And charge them up over... Charge them up over here, because I've got a battery charger essentially over here on the back of my EV machines. I'm not going to try to charge batteries at the same time that this machine's running. This machine is using all the power, essentially. Ad breaks start soon. No. Snooze for 5 minutes. We don't need ads. Ads are snoozed. That's good news. Looks like we need about, what? 2 more stacks of circuits, roughly? 2.5 stacks? Two stacks and 14? No, 2 stacks and 12. Getting close to the bottom of these circuits. And we'll have made 12 stacks of circuits on stream. Out of the materials we got from our meteor earlier, the meteor that we summoned at the end of last stream, which killed us, which is fun. Don't plan on doing this again here, so we'll pick up this tank. We'll leave the item automation there still. Put that wrench away. Pick up these circuit boards, take them back, put them in here, pick up those guys, put them away. Pre-roll ads are on, run an handbrake to disable them. I've only got 10 minutes left. I'm gonna not worry about that too much. We'll top off our soldering alloy. We'll pick up some of this ash and get it back to processing. I've been avoiding ashes this stream, and it looks like I shouldn't have been with all these machines running. It's not too bad down here. The byproduct of making the benzene in Gregtech is ashes that you get out of your charcoal that you turn into the benzene products. And those ashes can be turned into byproducts that provide iron, and then you can actually have iron ingots from the ashes that you got from your benzene production, which is kind of fun. So we'll continue processing these ashes. This time on our way over there, we will stop at the circuit board making machine and pick up its outputs and bring them back over. I hope that it's getting close to being done. It's got 3 more. Okay. We'll let those 3 go, and then we'll pick them up and take them back over there. This means we can clean up the automation underneath, which means using a pickaxe on those, and our matic on that one. Put those away. Once this is done, pick up these circuit boards. We can charge these batteries up, and the fuel will go into charging batteries. We will once again refuel that machine, that turbine. EV machines sure do like their power. Take these 26 circuit boards and go finish our circuits assembling over here. Do one more top off on the soldering alloy. Looks like we have roughly 21 crafts to go and roughly 9 minutes to do it in. It does look like it's going to tell me you have to snooze the ads again, so we'll push that button. Just before the ads start, I'm going to raid out. So let's look for a raid target before ads start. Do a search on Twitch. What do we have? Interesting. Maybe. All right, I think I'm going to check this stream to see how long he's been going. Okay, I do have a raid target in mind for when the time comes. I just need to get his username copied. Then I can get back to normal streaming stuff. Actually, I'm pretty sure I rated him yesterday. Let me take a look and see if my stream tells me if I did. It does not tell me who I rated. That's too bad. Well, either way. We can raid this guy. He's a good streamer. He's streaming Gregtech. We'll raid him in just a minute or two. Well, just before the ads start. That's what we'll say. Pick up the rest of those circuits. We've got our 12 stacks of circuits, which is super nice. That means we can make our super chests, we can make our packagers, we can make all of our machines. We can, before we end stream, we can put these batteries away that belong over here. And the other batteries that we put in the crystals. Hello, little plant. How are you? Pick these up. Put the batteries back in. Charge these batteries up. But that's what I've got for you guys. Unless there's something specific people want to see real fast. Ads are going to try to run here shortly, and I don't like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say that that's in essence the entirety of my stream. Again, unless someone wants to see something quickly, which I'd be happy to show off if there's any, hey, what are you doing with blah? What do you do for X? Etc. type questions. We'll give you guys a minute to ruminate on that and maybe type something in. What are you doing for bees? What are you doing for meteors? What does your Thaumcraft room look like? Why do you have a cat on your water tower? Why don't you have a cat on your watering tower? Why is there a tainted pig and a tainted chicken over in a box over there, along with a tainted swarm? Okay, it does look like things are fine. I'm going to start that raid up here. The raid's been created. We're going to raid Zayden. He streams Gregtech. I sit in his stream and watch him quite frequently. I want to thank everybody who's been here today. I want to thank people that followed. I want to thank the people who subscribed. Thank you guys for hanging out with me while I do some Gregtech. We made some circuits today. We looked at some Thaumcraft stuff, and we made some of these ritual stones to replace the ones we basically borrowed or stole from our other rituals that we had active in order to make that meteor. Hopefully you guys have fun over in Zayden's channel. Take care, and I'll see you next weekend. Bye-bye.